Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that will shake your soul, make you question the meaning of greed, and remind you that there's a price to pay for every shortcut in life. This is the chilling African story of a man who sold his own mother's body parts to get rich, and how his greed led him down a path of unimaginable horror and regret. In a small village in West Africa, surrounded by endless fields and ancient baobab trees, lived a young man named Kofi. He grew up in poverty just like many others in the village. His mother, Abina, was a widow who worked hard every day to feed her only son. She sold vegetables in the local market and fetched water for others to earn a few coins. Though they had little, she raised Kofi with love, teaching him values of honesty and respect. But as Kofi grew older, he became restless. He was tired of living a poor man's life. He looked around and saw others who flaunted wealth, men who wore gold chains, drove expensive cars, and lived in big houses. They spoke of secret societies, charms, and sacrifices that could make a man rich overnight. Kofi's heart burned with envy. He didn't want to struggle like his mother. He wanted luxury, power, and recognition. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Kofi met an old friend named Kwame, who had recently returned to the village wearing expensive clothes. Kofi couldn't believe how much he had changed. Curious, he asked Kwame how he became so rich. Kwame leaned closer and whispered, "Brother, the gods do not give wealth freely. You must give them something in return." His voice trembled with secrecy as he mentioned a powerful witch doctor who could make anyone rich overnight, but only if they were willing to sacrifice something or someone they loved deeply. Kofi laughed at first. The idea of sacrificing a loved one was horrifying, but that night, as he lay in his small hut, his stomach empty and his mind filled with dreams of riches, the thought began to haunt him. He tried to ignore it, but greed began to take root in his heart. Days turned into weeks, and the desire for wealth consumed him. He started avoiding his mother's gaze, ashamed of the thoughts that crossed his mind. One night, unable to resist any longer, Kofi traveled to a remote forest to meet the witch doctor. The man was old, with red eyes and strange symbols carved into his skin. He lived in a hut filled with bones, animal skins, and burning incense. When Kofi told him he wanted to be rich, the witch doctor smiled and said, "I can give you everything you desire, but the gods demand a pure sacrifice, one that shares your blood, one who brought you into this world." Kofi's heart raced. He knew exactly what that meant. The witch doctor handed him a small clay pot and instructed him to bring certain body parts from his sacrifice, the eyes, heart, and tongue, before the next full moon. Kofi left trembling, his mind battling between love and greed. For several nights, Kofi couldn't sleep. He watched his mother cook, pray, and smile at him lovingly, unaware of the evil brewing inside her son's heart. Her words echoed in his mind, "My son, no matter how hard life gets, never sell your soul for money." But greed had blinded him. On the night of the full moon, he made his decision. He prepared his mother's favorite meal and added a sleeping herb to her food. When she fell unconscious, tears streamed down his face. He whispered, "I'm sorry, Mama." As he carried out the unthinkable, he did what the witch doctor demanded and placed the parts inside the clay pot. At dawn, he returned to the witch doctor, trembling but determined. The old man performed a ritual, chanting words in an ancient tongue. He told Kofi to bury the pot under a silk cotton tree and wait for 7 days. Kofi did as he was told. On the 7th day, his life changed overnight. Money started pouring in from unknown sources. He received job offers, found gold in unexpected places, and every business he touched turned into profit. Soon, he built a mansion, drove luxury cars, and became one of the wealthiest men in the region. Everyone envied him, but no one knew the dark secret behind his success. At first, Kofi was thrilled. He threw parties, entertained powerful people, and bathed in his newfound glory. But as time went by, strange things began to happen. Every night he heard footsteps in his house. Sometimes he smelled his mother's favorite soup cooking in the kitchen, though no one was there. Other times he heard her voice calling his name, soft and sorrowful. He tried to ignore it, but the hauntings became stronger. One night he saw her shadow standing by his bed, whispering, "Kofi, my son, why did you do this?" He screamed and ran out of his house, but no matter where he went, her voice followed. His wealth became a curse. His business partners began to die mysteriously. His crops failed. His mansion became cold and lifeless. Servants quit, claiming they saw a ghostly woman walking through the halls at night. Kofi stopped sleeping, stopped eating, and became paranoid. He visited the witch doctor, begging for help, but the old man laughed. "You got what you wanted. The gods have claimed what is theirs. Now live with the price you paid." Desperate and tormented, Kofi went back to his mother's grave to beg for forgiveness. He cried, tore his clothes, and screamed her name. The wind howled, and the ground beneath him trembled. Suddenly he saw her spirit rise from the earth, her eyes hollow and full of sorrow. "You chose gold over love," she whispered. "Now you shall know what true poverty feels like." From that day on, Kofi's wealth vanished, his gold turned to dust, his house caught fire mysteriously, and his cars stopped working. Within weeks, he was left with nothing. He wandered the streets, ragged and broken, warning others about the price of greed. Some said they saw him talking to himself. Others claimed he vanished into the forest, never to return. Years later, villagers say that on moonlit nights, you can still hear his cries echoing from the hills, a chilling reminder of a man who sold his mother's soul for riches and lost everything. They tell their children, don't be like Kofi, for when you betray love for greed, you invite your own destruction. The story of Kofi spread far and wide, serving as a lesson for generations. It reminded everyone that no amount of wealth can replace a mother's love. Her blessings bring fortune, but her curse can destroy everything. In the end, Kofi's story became a tale of warning that true wealth isn't found in gold or power, but in gratitude and kindness. A man who forgets his roots and betrays those who raised him will eventually lose himself. So, the next time you see someone chasing shortcuts to success, remember Kofi's story. Greed may shine bright for a moment, but its fire always burns the soul that feeds it. Thank you for watching. If you found this story powerful and thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep African stories that carry timeless lessons. Stay humble, stay grateful, and remember every blessing has a price, but not every price is worth paying.